Okay, so I'm going to do a couple housekeeping items, say that 12 times, real quick. I just want to remind you, ladies, that next week we do have a speaker, Mr. Arno Nakaha, who will be speaking to us about leadership development. Kiana, I'm going to mute you. You're fine. We'll be speaking on leadership development. I truly believe he's by far one of the best when it comes to leadership development. You're good, T. I don't know why it isn't either. So if you pop back on, you're totally good, whatever you would like to do. But he is going to be speaking to us about leadership development. I will give you the social postcard early because that call will be a little bit earlier because we're going to be combining with the other 5 to 8 star diamonds on my earlier call. And we will, hey Ashton, we will be doing it together. So it's going to be at 8:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that is earlier than our time here. It will be recorded. Yes. Will you get more out of it if you're on there? Yes. So just try to put that in your calendar as a must see, and then it will be something obviously, based on the content, I feel like it will be something that you can share with your team as well. So that's super exciting, but I just want to kind of jump into it today. And I want to follow up with our last call on leadership development. So my question for you is Pacific Standard Time? Yes. Everything is always in Pacific Standard Time. Which is hard because I'm mountain time, so I always have to remember that. But yes, Pacific Standard Time. But I want to ask you, follow up from last week's call on leadership, right? And our whole little bubble of what we're doing as far as leadership goes. What have you implemented so far in the 1 week since having that call with your team? Unmute yourself, talk to me. And if you don't unmute yourself, I'll just unmute you and make you talk. Joke? I kid. Okay, really, who wants to speak? Nobody has taken it, like, since talking about leadership development, since me talking about the power of positive leadership, the book, nothing has happened? Christine's laughing. You weren't on the last call. You're let off the hook. You're good. Okay, so let me ask you this. Good. I'm glad you ordered the book. That is a first start. That book is amazing. Darby, I'm loving the hair. Good girl. Dang. I love it. Okay. Me too. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I think this is the thing is we have to have a game plan. And every time that we have these calls, the best thing that you can do is then go take the content and implement it with your team, right? Because if not, it's kind of going to go in one ear. And if you don't teach it, it's just going to kind of just go off it, right? Okay. I have a couple of people that I have talked to that are not on this call that are on our call, but they're not on right now. And I've seen what they're doing. I've seen them interacting with their leaders. I have seen them doing one-on-ones to maybe leaders that they haven't talked to that they've written off, that they are getting, the new excitement back. So let me start off this way because let's just do this. We had Z and Ashton at New Leader Conference. So I want to ask these ladies because that is a big leadership event, right? If you don't mind unmuting yourselves, will you please tell me your biggest takeaway from New Leader Conference? Go. Ashton, do you want me to unmute you? Okay, 1 minute. Z, do you mind going?
I've got like 20 pages of notes, so I think to pick the one takeaway, that's what's going to take me a couple minutes because there were so many takeaways. And
then 2 or 3 takeaways. You're fine. You don't have to limit it to one.
Perfect. All right. And then, of course, when I went into this year, I said there were these buckets that I'm going to focus on. These are the things that I'm going to work on with my team. And it was nice to see at NLC that a lot of that mirrored what I wanted to walk into this year with. So one of the things was I really want to work on volume with my team. I think I mentioned that last week when we talked, is I think that develops stickier coaches when they're actually, making money. And we had a great presentation about volume. So especially the piece about customer retention, and volume does not just come from growing our team and growing our customer base, but those customers that have already trusted us to build that experience. We have a team call every Tuesday. So the call tonight is all about the takeaways from NLC and what we can do as a team. But I think I'm a natural recruiter. I love to do that, but I recognize that a lot of the coaches on my team, that's not really their comfort zone. And so I'm going back to helping them build volume and build their team through the customer experience. and really making sure that when someone trusts us in the challenge groups, that that relationship right there is more important than any other relationship that we have. And that's going to develop better coaches. That's going to help them build their volume. So I'd say that was like a really big piece that tied into those other areas, like growing your team and helping my leaders feel confident growing their team without necessarily just the recruiting, because we've done very heavy recruiting and some of them are just not comfortable with that. That was a big one. I mean, there was so much great content, but I would say like Bonnie Engel, when she talked about her coach sneak peek and how she's Instagram stories was awesome. We have a 30-day Instagram boot camp that we've been doing. So it like fit really well into kind of what was already happening for the team. It was almost like NLC's like, hey, these are the topics that we're going to cover. And it just like literally happened to be the things that we wanted to implement this year anyway. So it couldn't have been better timing, I think.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, I also want to hear from Ashton. Are you good to talk now?
Sorry, I'm in the car and I've got a sleeping baby. So
don't talk too loud. You're okay.
Yeah, if I'm whispering. But I think for me and my team, it was just, I've got to focus in on my diamonds. I've got several great diamonds, and I think coming together with them and really just kind of reorganizing everything, not everything, but getting, the first 30 implemented, and again, making it so we can pass it down. So our coaches start off with more confidence. I feel like we've winged things a little bit too long. And so I'm starting with them, pulling them together and just reorganizing things. Melanie's calendar, another thing that we kind of wing a little bit too much. And so I liked and I've seen it, it's just now implementing it, getting every month organized. So, you're kind of planning ahead what holidays are coming up, school functions, etc. So you can kind of avoid those little obstacles. And then I think too, I put my vision together for them, because I can't remember who said it, but kind of like people don't buy a ticket if they don't know where they're going was said. And so again, it's hard for me to be like, this is where I'm going, because then I feel like it's kind of all about me, which we know as leaders it's not. But yeah, I'm just that personality where I'm like, oh, I don't want them to be offended or whatever. But I just did it. That spoke to me, that said, if you're not willing to tell them where this train's going, then how do you expect them to go there? So I put a graphic together, showed them my goal, showed them, where everyone's at and what we need to get there. Because again, I think we assume that they know, and that's not usually the case. So that was something I just gave to them yesterday. I don't know. I don't have my notes with me right now.
No, that was good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many of you, raise a hand, had somebody, either a personally sponsored coach or somebody in your downline that went to New Leader Conference? Raise a hands. Britt, raise your hands. I'm like, I know you did. Okay. So if you had somebody in your downline, or you did go Ash and Z, I would say this is your opportunity to put leadership into its greatest form, is by having them teach what they learned, their takeaway. So even if you have somebody deep down in your organization that did go to New Leader Conference that you are aware about, I would really challenge you to go ask them to speak on your next call. Like, give them the opportunity to share what their biggest takeaway was. And if you're like, you know what, no, I didn't have anybody, but I really would like to do, something of that sort, like start thinking, how can you pull these leaders to start interacting and running your calls, being a part of your calls? Okay. So you kind of have to start thinking a little bit bigger. It's the same thing. She locked it in for next week's call. Perfect. Okay. So for sure. But this is the same thing. And I know where I'm not sure where our calls will be, in the summertime when Summit is here. But when your leaders go to the different trainings, it's the same thing. Have them come back and teach upon it. Like, you have to give them the opportunity to lead. That's when they're more likely to do it. Does that make sense? Are you excited to either A, present what you learned at New Leader Conference, or B, ask one of your leaders to share? Does that make you excited? It makes me excited. Okay. If you're like, well, Brett, I still don't know anybody that went, that's okay. Grab the content. I promise you there's enough floating around out there, and build upon it. If you're like, hey, and even it reaching out to me, hey, what was talked about? Message me. Let's talk about it so you have new content to take to your team. Because when it's new and exciting, that's when it's easy to present, and that's when coaches will be engaged with it. Okay. So as far as leadership development goes, what else? I mean, some of you have ordered the book. Some of you have decided, oh yes, Crystal, go ahead, please.
One thing I just remembered by you saying that too, that I started last week and I'm going to start sticking to is, and I've done this in the past, but then I let it get away from me. My up and coming emerging leaders, like the new coaches that you see potential in that are doing something, hitting success clubs, starting to find their first coach or two, that kind of thing, hitting emeralds, having them go live in the team page about one particular best practice. So like what you're doing now and why this is working really well for you. Because, we as leaders can say things till we're blue in the face and people kind of take it with a grain of salt and they're like, oh, well, you're so successful. Well, you've done this, whatever. But if they hear it from a new coach that's in a very similar place that they're in, who's like kind of just starting or whatever, it seems more valuable or whatever, or relatable. So I literally just started implementing that last week. And, and then the new coach is like, oh, me? Oh my gosh. And that, like, maybe it's their first time going live and they kind of, get all empowered and energized by it and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a win all around.
For sure. Thank you so much for sharing that. One last thing that makes me think of this, and I have a lot of coaches do it when they're about to have a baby, or maybe they just have too much on their plate, whatever it may be. But I would strongly suggest this now, is just going into your team page and literally listing maybe 5 things that you need help with, like something that you can delegate, and literally get them to step up to do it with either with you or for you or whatever it may be. If you're trying to really see who the leaders are within your team page, within your team, your personally sponsored team, your downline, whatever it may be, give them the opportunity. How many of you would feel comfortable like putting out like, hey guys, I need help with these 5 things? Christine. Okay. Well, that's a lot of hands. Darby's like 2 hands. Okay. Literally. So if you don't ask for it, it won't happen. Okay. So that's going to be my one thing. That's my challenge actually to every single one of you this week. And I don't care if it's a post or whatever it may be, or asking them, but try and see if you can delegate 5 things. And this is the crazy thing from one OCD person to another. Okay. If they can do it, like 40%, it's so ridiculously low, like 40% of what you can do it, you're supposed to delegate it. Oh my gosh, shoot me in the head, right? Like literally like, what? Like, no, if they can't do it 90%, why am I delegating it? But if they can do it 40% of what you can do it, delegate it. Does that make you uncomfortable? No? Okay. So that's my one thing from today's call already. Hello, Kitty. That is so funny, Z. Is literally do exactly that. Okay. Start delegating. When you start delegating, you're going to see your leaders. You're going to give them the opportunity to step up and help. And you know what? Creativity, when you come together, is so much more beautiful on what you can accomplish together. Okay. So that's my one thing that I'm probably gonna have to implement that with my other crew too. That came off a tangent. Anyways, you're getting this rare form, 8 days of solid working. I took yesterday off and I still am like just dead. Anyways, okay, let's jump into this next thing. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what has worked well. So I know we talked about leadership development, but what has been working well this month? And what are you excited about? What are you excited that your team is doing? Like literally, it's time to share. Darby, go.
Okay, so something that I did since last week's call is I created a new group page just for Emerald and above coaches. So usually everyone's like, oh no, not another group page. And I literally was going to just do a message thread, but that's just would cause so many headaches with all Emerald and above coaches. But I call it our team, which Elite Empire leadership page. So they're the leadership of the team. And I think it's just giving them that title has allowed them to kind of step up. in all honesty, in our team page, it's really just Emerald and above coaches who are participating anyways, but having this group page that says that you're the leadership of this team. And I'm asking them, like I'm saying, this is our team, your voice matters. Like, I want to know what you think, you know, is going to help our girls the most. Like, I'm putting them up on a pedestal of leadership where they have a voice. So I've asked them, like I've done polls and I've asked them questions like, what's going to help our girls hit Success Club and see the value in hitting Success Club every single month? And then they're answering and they're, you know, they're engaging and they're going live in there because they finally feel like, because normally they're like, I'm not Diamond or Star Diamond, so I don't have a voice. I can't really speak up in it. But there's been so many great ideas and so many girls coming out of the woodworks that have such great ideas of what can work. Like, let's come up with scripts and let's come up with like a prize, you know, tiers. And it's really, really been awesome. Like I said, it's literally the same girls who always participate anyways, but just giving them that title of leadership of the team has like changed everything this past week. So that's working really well right now for me.
So shaking it up, making it new. I love that. Awesome. Any questions for Darby or anybody want to go next? Anybody?
I'll share something. It's kind of silly, but it's actually turned out really well. So I wanted to make like a Success Club and Team Cup just a lot more fun this time around. And so on our team page, I just started this thread in the beginning of the month, and it just said post a GIF or a GIF, like whatever it is, you know, those fun little, every time you hit an SC, right? And I cannot believe how many people this month are already in our entire downline, like already at SC. And it's so funny how this is like motivating them. They're like, I'm gonna post one today. And they're really funny. And you're supposed to like pick one that describes either the conversation or like how long you were working on this person or just something fun. And it's just totally taken off. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna finish this month like more people than have ever hit Success Club on our team. So just made it fun.
Love that. That's awesome. Good.
I'll give a little something that's working for me, Brittany. Kind of, we started that shout out, and we used to do it for every time they got Success Club points. And then when we started focusing more on volume, we decided so many people, I think, feel defeated when they don't get that challenge pack sale. And so we did this Small Wins Matter. And every month we tell them to shout out anything that they find success. So if they like make a new contact on social media, if they sell BOD, a Shakeology sampler. And then instead of just recognizing the people that hit Success Club, I have my assistant do a list at the end of the month of every single person that commented on that thread. And so we're recognizing the people that are even getting those small little wins. And, because that's something. And that's what starts the momentum of them being able to eventually hit Success Club and have those sort of conversations with people. And so it's just been a huge momentum changer. And like I said, when we started only celebrating Success Club, but now it's everything. And they literally, like, any happy conversation they have, or if it is a sale, but it's just this positive environment, and then everybody's encouraging them and liking it and commenting on it. So it's really created a good community and celebrating the small wins. So, and it has increased volume, I truly believe. Also.
For sure. No, that's awesome. Okay, I love that. Small wins matter. I hope you wrote that one down. That's big. Especially, I have had coaches that, like, I have people that just sell BOD. And it's like, okay, they don't just sell BOD. They sell the entire year. I know Angie spoke about this last week, right? Did you talk about this last week? Okay. Well, and that is a huge win. Yeah, keep going.
I would say that, I have coaches that are coach rank that hit over 1,000 PV every month. So I think, like, we tend to shy away from recognizing those people. I'm like, but those are the people that drive my income, and rank maybe has stayed at 5-star for a really long time, but these coaches are building and growing their businesses by focusing on the volume. So, it's been huge for everybody on the team to realize that. So
thank you so much. Kiana, you're unmuted. I'm assuming that means because you want to talk.
Well, I just was going to piggyback off that. We started doing that, but we use like little emojis. I just went back to my post, but like a GIF or emoji, but basically a challenge. We celebrate a challenger who commits to Shakeology HD, A challenger commits with a challenge pack. So those are like obviously Success Club, but then like a new coach, or like if you've advanced ranked, or if you've hit 500 PV, or if you help someone with a BOD membership, you do that. If you had a positive conversation and want to talk about it, like they always are like putting like that face that has those like, I don't know if you've seen that emoji, the face, and it has like you're shouting. You want to give a shout out to a challenger. So like most of it is Success Club and like things that they sold, but there are a few on there that they can celebrate. And it's shocking to me how many people go on there multiple times. This month we added like if your team cup, anyone on your team cup has got 1 point. And so they're adding that on there. But it's been really, really awesome to see people like that I haven't seen on the list before. And so we're just committed to doing that each month, starting the thread. And we change the emojis according to what the month is. For like this month, it's related to love, like because of they just like it. And so we celebrate all different types of stuff. And I think that's huge. I think it's important I agree with you. Like I was doing Success Club before in the past, but that just wasn't motivating my team as much anymore. And so I've done it with like Success Club or 1 point, every time you add a point. But I think it's awesome to be able, I think I didn't do it this month, but we might add like someone, any PV from the back office or something, you know what I mean? Like if you help someone with any amount of PV, because like there's not like the 3-day refresh on there. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that. But it's been cool to watch people that don't necessarily always make Success Club. And I'm with Courtney, like I'm noticing that like some of my top people in volume don't always make Success Club. And so I think it's important to share that and talk about that. They might not be super strong Success Club point earners, but they're really strong. Like they make over 1,000 points each month, which is insane, So it's been cool to see that.
Love this. Okay. Great conversation. What else?
I can real quick talk.
Yeah.
When I opened my second business center, I made like a post to see who wanted to do like the Great Diamond Race. And it was kind of, I took my entire downline, opened it up to them, whether they had one coach, whether they were like one coach away from diamonds, and just put it out there that whoever beat me to diamonds, getting, my second business center to diamonds, got something from me. So that has been fun. Again, they'll post and it's through a thread, and that, when they sign a coach, and then everyone kind of celebrates, or, those little victories. And then I, again, will reward anybody who beat me to diamond. So I'm not sure. I know that's just like a certain,
for sure,
not everyone opens a business center every single day kind of a deal, but maybe something like that, as far as it's been good for our team. So.
Absolutely. Even if this is kind of, maybe your second CBC has dropped, maybe you have to get it back. Like, and literally just speaking that truth, like, okay guys, like, hey, I need to run and get my second CBC back to, ABC, whatever it is that you're working towards. Or maybe it's getting your second CBC from diamond to a strong 2-star diamond, kind of look at those things. But anytime that you can add a little competitive edge or an opportunity to work closer together, and then the recognition of it, I love it. So thank you. Z loved it. So awesome. Awesome. Angie, do you want to pipe in here? Hey, you're good, Darby.
Yes. So yeah, I just dumped a bunch of information last week on the call, and then also in the group. And it's been awesome what I've been doing. Like I had touched on, our main recognition right now is on customer volume. I do tie in, I add any of their current Success Club points to it as well, but I've broken it down to leaders, motivators, and influencers. So it truly is based on like the influence that they are generating and creating within their customer base. And then I recognize each week, and it's, how do I do it? Each week is like our leaders are, if they've hit 200 or more customer volume, our influence are 100 or more customer volume. This is weekly. And then the motivators are any customer volume. So it doesn't matter if you only have 15 PV for the week, like you're still getting on there, because for a brand new coach or someone who's trying to get back into working the business, for them, that's a huge win. and I had a huge aha moment last year why I switched to kind of this method is because I was recognizing the same people who were Success Club 14, 16, 20, like every single month. But then I started really digging in and going deeper into my organization. And there were coaches who were never getting on those boards, but they had over 1,000 customer volume every month. And to me, like, that made me sick to my stomach because I was like, there's these girls who are making this massive impact and they're not getting recognized for it. And so that was a huge wake up call for me that shifted. And that's why I recognize that way. And they've loved it because it truly is like a reflection on what they did that week, right? It's like, okay, well, and I don't do personal volume. I do customer volume. Because personal volume, I have girls that go in and they're like buying all the whole performance line for their husband and all this stuff. And so at first, initially I was like, oh, these girls, like they have all these, and then as I look deeper, I'm like, oh, it's because they're buying all the supplements for their husband or whatever is going on, And so customer volume is a true reflection on who they did help that week. And so it's easy for me to separate from like the talkers or the thinkers to the doers, because it's like, well, you're not doing, like you need to show up and do. If you actually want to achieve this, then we need to do a little bit more. Okay, last week you achieved 50 customer volume. Let's push and try to achieve 100 customer volume. Like it's just that straight up, right to the point, like this is what you did, this is what you didn't do, and it's a true reflection on your actions. And then what I do at the end of every month, those numbers are bumped up, so it's like 500 PV for the leader or customer volume, or which on their end is their PV, for the leader pool. And I posted all this in the group so you guys can go back and look. And then for the motivators or the influencers is 200 or more. And so I take the 200 and above, those I categorize as my leaders, and I actually create an event because my group doesn't like one more group. So I just create an event. I do a call with them. I basically do it like this. I go around and say, okay, what's working for you guys? I let them share. And then the week after that, so this week, because we did our leaders call last week, we do a training event in my team page where they actually have to run it. Like they're stepping up and they're running. And I just created a Google Doc and I just outlined, like I've done 5.5 years of coaching. I've done so many trainings and things that it's like, okay, we're going to talk about the importance of Emerald. And I just do like a basic little tidbit of information. And then I ask 2 of them to go live in the event. So, and I like the events because those in my team who feel like they want to go, but they don't have that overwhelm of being in another group. Like my team just doesn't do well with that, but they do great with the events for some reason. So that's what's working for us. And so this week we're focused on Emerald, and a lot of my girls were like, I don't feel qualified for that. I'm like, you've gone Emerald before. Yes, you are. And so I really was helping to show them and see and putting them in a place where they could shine, and they're sharing because the team does want to hear from them, not just me all the time. So I'm just kind of facilitating, but then they have to go in and sign up for stuff. And if I feel like people aren't signing up for stuff, then I call them out and I'm like, you said you wanted to step more into leadership and you want to share more in the team. This is your opportunity. And so, your team, you have coaches in our team pages as well, and they want to hear from you. So it's been really good. It's boosted their confidence and helped them to see like, oh, I am a leader.
You rock. And I appreciate you. When Christine was saying that she loved all your, I'm like, what is she talking about? I'm like, oh yes, everything. Cause I saw everything that you posted, but yes, going back to that, like that is a platform for you ladies to share what is working. So, and if you like, but the beautiful thing is you share with it, and then other people are going to share their ideas. And so it's just this opportunity for you guys to bond and get connected and really work together. So thank you, Angie, for taking the lead, because that was beautifully posted. And then if you'll just answer these questions that they have all over yonder, you can answer them in the chat thread if you don't mind. And then I wanted to, Brooke, where'd you go? Brooke Orchard. I see you have a baby hanging from you.
Yep. And my voice is back, so that's good.
Yay. Well, you look so pretty. I have to ask you, how are you?
Good. Tired, but besides that, good.
Everything going well as far as what we've been talking about, leadership development?
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of tuned in a little bit late, but just piggybacking off of what you guys were saying, I've had the tendency the past year to recognize Success Club, and I need to focus more on volume for sure, customer volume, because you're right. Like you don't recognize that or see that unless you dig deep into the organization. And I really just try to get creative and really think, like, what have my coaches done recently that are more than just point related, you know, going live for the first time. Just, you know, like we did our team coach sneak peek last night. So I recognized the 3 coaches of mine who hosted that together, and they stepped up to the plate for me because my voice was gone basically this past week. And so I just recognize anything and everything. So I love that small wins matter idea as well. What else, Britt, was there that you guys were covering? I might have missed what you were.
I think you're good. I think if there's anything else that, you know, what is working well for you right now. And then we just got off on the tangent of the recognition, but I love that.
Yeah, just really focusing on a team feel, doing things together as a team. I had a tendency to do things on my own, like my own coach sneak peeks, my own challenge groups. And we've been really kind of changing things up, and I've noticed a lot of growth on our team. A lot of people quit, you know, at the end of the year last year, but a lot of people are starting up really on fire as well. So.
For sure. Thank you so much. Sorry to call you out.
No, you're good.
It's getting loud over here. What about you, Britt Powers, Marianne? What about you, ladies?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
All you, Boo.
Here, let me turn my light. You said I was so dark last time. Kind of blinding.
I can see you now. Yeah, you're good.
So you want me to share what's been working and
yeah, with your organization? You have a large organization. What has been working?
Okay, so this month being Team Cut month, we kind of took a play, me and my leaders. I have a separate chat thread and a separate group for them that I've had ongoing for well over a year. So the group doesn't get as much, the Facebook group doesn't get as much like, ooh, as the chat thread. I talk every day in that group with my leaders. Sometimes it's a little bit more chatty and a little bit more personal, but that's really what I signed up for coaching, was the sisterhood, was the friendships and everything. So I feel like, you know, we have a very good group of ladies that, you know, is really leading the team and really stepping up. I liked what Courtney, I think it was, had to share. I wrote down all those notes with the small wins and everything like that. So for Team Cup, what we're doing is I love the health bet. So we're kind of doing our own little Team Empower health bet. What do we call it actually? It's actually more of an Emerald push. It's a week-long group that we're starting, and we're going to run it starting the 19th through the 25th, or 25th, 26th. So I host a monthly Emerald push group, but this one we're calling it I think we're calling it Green with Emerald. So it's basically like a little mini health bet to help my leaders not just advance in their rank and increase their volume, but really to teach and have the new up and comers put some skin in the game, the new coaches, you know, really not just say like, okay, I'm going to sign 2 people up to get to Emerald, blah, 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 to have a piece of this like money pot or whatever, because we're all just entering in, you know, just a little bit, but a little bit adds up, as we know. So they're really excited for that. A lot of coaches where I'm rallying, they're rallying in their own team pages. So hopefully that's something that, you know, turns out really good. So that's kind of what the main focus is, you know, is just really everybody, whether you were an Emerald that lost rank, or you've never been Emerald, or you just signed up, or you've been a discount coach for a year plus, is really just making sure everybody understands the importance of getting to Emerald and just opening up that business center. Like for me, I didn't cycle for a while once I hit Emerald. It took me 2 months to hit Emerald. I didn't cycle right off the bat, but I took everything that my coach told me. She was like, I promise, like this is the key. You need to put the key in, turn it, and open things up. And that's, you know, what I want to teach them. It's like, it's not like you're going to be instant cycling and instant leads and stuff like that. There's still other things you have to do, but I really want to drive in the importance of Emerald and get them to get that small, but yet looking back, it was a very big win when you're a brand new coach or a coach that's never hit an Emerald before. So we're kind of doing that. So
perfect. Thank you so much for sharing.
Welcome.
Brittany brought up obviously the Emerald, and then Brooke talked about it. Brooke, do you still do your hit Emerald over and over again, taking the emphasis off a diamond? Do you still run it like that?
I do. Like when a new coach starts, I almost kind of skip over Emerald. And coaches have differing views on that. And yes, it's great to be talking about Emerald and make that like a non-negotiable your first 30 days. But yeah, I've just really been trying to take that daunting feel off of diamond for sure. And I do like that analogy of going Emerald over and over again.
Okay. She shared that last year, and it's like one of my most favorite things. And I know one thing you said specifically is like, yes, you're going to hit diamond. It's just going to be a byproduct, but you're going to continue to move forward. And then just teaching that hit emerald every single week, correct? Still
Yeah, I think it's so important to just remind them, you know, first things first. People get ahead of the horse or ahead of the cart, whatever. And I just remind them, you can't hit Success Club unless you're, you know, talking to people first and saying hi. So just really pulling them back, putting on the brakes and reminding them it'll happen. You just have to start here.
Do you find, sorry, I'm like really digging deep into this. Do you find when you focus on that you, I mean, obviously Emerald's strong, they are obviously producing more PV, more income. Do you find that since you're focusing on that?
Yeah, I mean, I focus heavily on challenge packs. I really do. Obviously, every coach does whatever they want, but I do believe in the entire package. And so for me, I am more of a Success Club driven person, but I think that's just because of my belief in Shakeology and the challenge pack itself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, cool.
Sorry, you're snoring.
Yeah. You're good. You're good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then I want to just go back to Marion. Did you have anything that you wanted to add, my dear? You always have such great insight, so I hate to leave you out.
No, it's fine. I just have a couple things that I would share. I forget who recommended having their new coaches go live on their team pages, but thanks for whoever shared that last week. I had my new coaches go live on the team page last week, and it was awesome. Like some of my old school coaches, my OGs, were like, oh, it's so good to hear from like the new blood, like share their why, because it changes things. The second thing that I think is working really well is I tweaked my new coach training to not do a free group right away, not to try to sell challenge packs right away, but I'm walking them through in my Thinkific new coach training to do a clean week group right away. My transition, I think I had like my last clean week group, I had 8 of the 10 women sign up with challenge packs following that group. So I think that it's just an easier gateway drug. So I don't know if that's the right analogy, but like it's a little bit, hey, try Shakeology, fall in love with it. Oh, boom. Now I can invite you to the next challenge group. So I'm finding that my new coaches are having more success and confidence inviting for like the $39 package thing versus like the whole challenge pack. And it's giving them volume, right? So, and then I'm doing the same thing like a lot of you guys are doing, which is just the Success Club and the PV board blended. And I'm only, for the picture board, it has to be a minimum 500 PV and above. And then I made the 200 to 299, 300 to 399, 400 to 499 columns. And then I had so many women who were like, oh my gosh, I was so close to the 500. I have no idea. So that opens up the discussion as to how they can close that gap. So that's it.
Love that. Okay. Love that. I would also say bringing Clean Week up again. I love that you did that because that is one of those things out of sight, out of mind. And another thing too, like Courtney does, like Angie does, like the small wins, like recognizing them if they are able to help somebody with the $39 and get them started. And then obviously like that gateway drug, perfect analogy. It makes complete sense. And then it opens it up to that entire, big picture if they're truly committed. So I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was going to say, we also don't call it Clean Week. We call it like a 7-day reset. And I give them all the posts for it, all the sample invites. And so far it's working out really well. So that's
awesome. Good. Perfect. Okay, we have time for one more. Who else wants to share? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Okay. Nobody. All right. So my question for you ladies is I want to get you out of your comfort zone in the art of delegating. Okay. Sounds like many of you already do. And it sounds like, I would just say now is your opportunity to ask for help. Just to remind yourself, a leader doesn't need to know it all. A leader is somebody that literally grabs the person next to him and says, let's do this together. Like, yes, you guys have been very successful in this business, but I promise you, if you go back down to the level of a brand new coach, brand new diamond, whatever it may be, and get really engulfed in that excitement, it will make your business fun again. It will make what you're doing fun again. When you focus on the people aspect, how many people can you help? How many people can you help build a successful business like you have? That's when this business is fun and that's when you are successful in it. So I'm just going to really challenge you to get out of your comfort zones, start delegating a little bit, see how they can help you, get them to step up. Last time we talked about, obviously on team calls, Z, your cat, this is hilarious. was, you know, just taking the first 5 minutes and checking in, like, hey guys, how are you? What's a win of the week? What, you know, what are your kids up to? Like, have it be part of the community, what you're trying to build, because I promise you, if you lead with your heart first, everything else will come into play. And then the beautiful thing is you'll get lifers because you'll be truly invested in them and they will feel it. Okay. So I'm just going to challenge you to get uncomfortable and delegate a little bit, get them to become your business partners and really just see what you guys can do together. Cause I promise you, when you do that, you're going to get this excitement. And I know you already have it, but we're also on the upwhirl or the beautiful realm of, you know, business is booming. It's February. People are wanting to be truly committed. There is going to be that lull. And so you have to get to that point where when you build the lifers and you build that community, that they're going to be with you. It doesn't matter what season it is. Okay. They're going to be excited about this business. And so that's what I'm really trying to engage here. Just a reminder, next call, we have Arno Nakaha. I will put that up today. So you guys will have plenty of time to plan that time, but it will be at 8:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:15 a.m. Mountain, 10:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. We don't have anybody Eastern. So I think that should work with y'all. But come prepared with some questions, you know, when it comes to leadership development, if you do have for him. He's an amazing, amazing, amazing leader. So I'm excited that he will be on our call. Other than that, ladies, I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping on. I appreciate your interaction. If you need anything, I'm obviously in the office this week, but let me know. But I really, truly appreciate you, okay? Thank you for popping on. Have a great day. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, ladies.